Hey y'all, welcome back to 40 something and nothing. I'm your host, Elisha Maria Grey. It is November 2nd. It took so long for this week to get here, you guys. I feel like I've been waiting on Sunday for forever, right? And it's finally here and I'm excited. So let's just get into this episode. This is season 2, episode 10. Like, let that just sit in for a second. Let that soak up, okay? Because what it means is that we are now going to be taking a little break so that we can prepare for season 3. What? Season 3? There was a time where I didn't even know if I was capable of doing episode 1, season 1, episode 1. And now we are approaching season 3. I just want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you've been on this journey with me, especially my day ones, like if you've listened all the way from season 1, episode 1, like you have my complete love. Like thank you so much. And I'm ready for season 3. I'm ready for change. We're going to spice it up a bit. I'm not going to give too much details away. So you're just going to have to tune in and see. But I believe the season 3 is going to show growth and elevation and just a new side of the podcast. And so I'm excited for that. And I hope that you join me on it. Like I said, normally between the seasons, I take like a 30-day break, and I feel like that gives you time to catch up. There are a lot of episodes there. I'm pretty sure there are a few that you may have missed, and this will be that time that you can go back and when you have the time to listen to any episodes that you may have missed. This is the opportunity to do that so that you can come back to season 3 and be ready to go, all caught up, right? So I'm excited. Season 3 is on its way, and yeah, we're moving, we're moving. And then in other news, my mother-in-law, I had mentioned in the previous episode that we had recently lost my mother-in-law, and that was on October 24th. And it still hurts, you guys, because again, I'm not able to be in Jamaica at the moment. And so I'm missing my husband. I wish that I could be there to support my in-laws through this, but I'm so, so proud of my sister-in-law, Shauna. Shauna is so creative. The creativity that comes out of this girl is just astonishing. And she was able to come up with the brochures and everything for a candlelight ceremony that was held yesterday in Kingston. And while I wasn't there in person, I was there definitely in spirit. And my husband was able to FaceTime me, send me videos. And I promise you guys, through the phone, you could just feel the love. You could feel the energy. And it was just such a beautiful event. And family had turned out. I can see in the video that tons of family had turned out for this. And, I'm just proud of Shauna for pulling this all together. This is not the actual services. Those are still pending. And it is my hope that, Kingston Airport, I believe Kingston Airport is up and running and ready to go. But, I just want to make sure that I'll be able to get there for that. So I told Shauna, I'm there. I'm there. I'm not missing the services. So Kingston Airport, if you're not up and running just yet, get it up and running. Let's go. Okay, don't get on my nerves. I got to get to Jamaica. Okay, I got to get there somehow. Whether I got to swim, I can't swim. Okay, but you know what I mean? Like I really just need to get there for the services. And that brings me to Hurricane Melissa. So we had this hurricane. It was a stage 5, and Jamaica is experiencing the aftermath of that right now. People are displaced. There are so many residents of Jamaica that have lost their homes completely and all of their belongings. But from your av life, okay, from your av life, Jaja God, right? My people are so resilient. They are not like taking this as something that is killing them. They are trying their best to just immediately clean up, rebuild, pull it all back together. And I love that about Jamaica, right? Nothing can keep them down, right? Liko but taloa, okay? And I'm just so proud of the island in as a whole. And my love and support goes to everyone, especially in the areas that were hit the hardest, like St. Elizabeth. And it's a lot going on over there right now. And so I really just want to get there and be able to be a support system to an island that has given so much of itself to me. There has been so many times, you guys, that just going by the water, right? Just being by the ocean in Jamaica, I was able to release tension and depression and anxiety and worries. And just by being able to relax and eat a piece of fruit and have some ackee and saltfish, like Jamaica has literally saved my life on so many occasions. And so I definitely want to get there and give back and do what I can, do my part for my beautiful little island, right? So if you are in the position that you can help, I have links on everything from my Instagram, my LinkedIn page. You can find a way to give back either canned goods, foods, sanitary napkins for women. There's a bunch that we need right now, right? And anything helps. If you are able to donate financially, that's great as well. I have a link on my Instagram. And if you're not able to see those links, please let me know and then I can send them to you directly. But yeah, my prayers and everything goes out to Jamaica as a whole. And just imagine, like, my husband my in-laws period have to go through a double whammy, like the loss of my mother-in-law and then Hurricane Melissa in town. And it's just one thing after another, so my heart is there. And like I said, I'm waiting for Kingston to let me know. Like, I'm going to be checking to make sure that those airports are open because I need to get home and check on my family. So with all of those announcements out of the way, let's just get into episode 10 because, we got a bit to cover. Okay. And again, I thank you so much for being here with me on this Sunday. You can be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. And I love and appreciate you for that. So I watched this clip a few years ago when I still had a Facebook account. Like, I done got rid of Facebook, but when I had a Facebook account, I saw this video and it blew me away then. And that was, like I said, a few years ago. And then randomly, somehow, it recently showed up again on my LinkedIn timeline, which is another site that I need to get rid of. Listen, I know for a fact I have a vision of where I'm going, and LinkedIn is not coming with me. But anyways, it showed up on my LinkedIn timeline and it hit me just as hard now as it did the first time that I watched it. I'm going to insert the clip here.
Where you are. You change where you are, not who you are. There are so many opportunities that I missed over managing my who, making myself small, trying to mimic other people, pretending like I was okay or not okay, having psychological breakdowns and having to come back to work and learn how to live with depression. Like, there's so many stories of me trying to change my who that would have saved so much energy if I would have actually realized it was my where, my physical where, my mental where, my whatever. Do not stop until you find the where your who is best.
That is Caroline Wagner. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. Wagna. And she said, finding the where my who is best. Now listen, I was so glad that this video had resurfaced because what? Like, the where my who is best? It's given very much riddle vibes, but the more I sat with it, the more I started to unfold. And then your girl, in true Elisha fashion, spiraled down a very deep rabbit hole. And I'm very glad that I did. Okay, so let's just get into it, because I feel like that statement is about alignment. It's the kind of alignment that will ask, or you have to ask yourself, where do I belong right now? What spaces allow me to be who I actually am, not who I've learned to perform as? We spend so much time, like literally, you guys, we spend so much time trying to fix our who, when maybe, just maybe, the problem is our where. We ask, what's wrong with me, when the real question just might be, where am I? You can be a rose, Rosalia, okay, you can. But if you're planted in concrete, you're going to start thinking you're broken. But you're not broken. You're just in bad soil. We do this all the time. We stay in jobs that starve us, relationships that shrink us, or environments that constantly test our patience. And then we wonder why we feel DDD, okay? Why are we feeling a DDD? Drained, depressed, and disconnected. It's not always that you lost your spark. It's that the air around you just keeps blowing it out. I've been there. I promise you, I can list quite a few places where I've stayed longer than my spirit wanted to, convincing myself that if I just worked at it a bit harder, it would fit. I'd finally fit, But no matter how much I twisted the situation or twisted myself, it never quite aligned. Because sometimes the problem isn't who you are, it's the where that can't hold who you're becoming. And if I'm being completely honest and transparent right now, I'm in that space yet again, okay? That in-between place where both the who and the where feels like they're under construction. I can feel myself growing, changing, evolving, but at the same time, my where still asks for a kind of compliance that doesn't match who I'm becoming. Girl, if I have to ask permission for an extended lunch, I know for a fact I'm in the wrong place, honestly, okay? If I got to sit there and explain to you and pray that you approve my time off so that I can visit my in-laws in Jamaica, then I'm in the wrong place. Where I'm going, the who that I'm becoming makes her own schedule. Like I make my own schedule. So I know for a fact that right now there is a shift happening in regards to who I am versus where I am. It's like having to round my edges just to make it through the day, And I can't even fully blame the where, because I know my who is still developing. I'm still shaping her, molding her, learning what she values, what she needs, what she refuses to compromise on. So I'm kind of like in this middle ground, like part of me wondering if I should move back to Jamaica to be closer to my husband. And then another part of me thinking, is San Diego even my where? Is it someplace else altogether? Where will my who thrive? Or who would I, or not who, or would I just be relocating confusion to a prettier view? That's where I'm trying to figure out right now. And that's the space that I am in. I'm in that, where will my who thrive, right? Because what I don't want to do is relocate that confusion to a prettier zip code, to a new location, because obviously it's about, changing both, right? something is shifting in both of these aspects in terms of me. For you, it might be different, but this is what I'm feeling right now. And I don't know yet. I don't know the answer to that yet. And I'm okay saying that, because this quote, finding the where my who is best, fits exactly where I am. I am still TBD, still to be determined, still figuring out who I am becoming, and starting to recognize that where I am matters just as much as who I am. And maybe that's why I love this phrase so much, because it's not just philosophical, but for me, it's very practical. It's about awareness. It's about realizing when the environment and the identity no longer match, and daring to question what comes next. All right, so let's unpack it. All right, let's get to it. Let's unpack it. I'm doing that. What's that clock T thing? That's what I'm doing right now. But join me in my rabbit hole, would you please, and kindly. Thank you. Okay, just come join me in the rabbit hole. How do we actually know when it's our where that's off, or when it's our who? Okay, that's the first level of the rabbit hole. It gets deeper. Okay, that's the first level. How do we know when it's the where versus the who? Because sometimes it's both, yes, but sometimes you've outgrown your where and your who is still catching up. Because life isn't simple like that. We would love for it to be just 1 + 1 would equal 2. But no, it just doesn't. It's not mathematics, right? Sometimes it just doesn't add up. And that's okay too. But here's what I've learned. When your who is off, you feel disconnected from yourself. When your where is off, you feel disconnected from life. Like, what? Okay, let me say that one more time. When your who is off, you feel disconnected from yourself. You're like, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Something's different. I feel off within myself. When your where is off, you feel disconnected from life. Like, I just feel misunderstood. My bestie just told me yesterday, I feel misunderstood. You're feeling a disconnect in things in your life. That's when your where is off, right? So ask yourself, do I feel alive here, or just tolerated? Like, am I tolerating the where, or is the people that is in this where with me, are they just tolerating me? Or do I really naturally just feel organically alive here? Do I have to perform to be accepted? Do I feel safe enough to be honest? If those questions sting a little, you probably already know the answer. When the where is wrong, your body usually tells you first, okay? Your laughter changes tones, your shoulders stay tense. You may be experiencing, just feeling like, like just the humdrum of it all. You keep counting the minutes until you can leave. Like, when am I going to be out of here? That's your nervous system whispering, hey, Rose, okay? Hola, Rosalia. This is not your soil. You're in the wrong spot. When your who is off, the signs are a little bit quieter. You start ignoring your own instincts, that intuition. You're not trusting your intuition. You're ignoring your instincts. You start dimming your own light on purpose, just so that it's not too bright for the people around you. You become a version of yourself that's easy for everyone but you. But neither of these mean that you've failed. Okay, these opposites of this coin does not mean that you failed. It just means something's out of tune. Okay, so let's say you realize the where isn't right, but you can't leave yet. Okay, see, this is the next layer of that rabbit hole. I promise you, you guys, I'll be diving deep. Okay. These are the things that be running across my mind. You would have thought that I was sitting here smoking marijuana because I really be trying to make it make sense. Okay. So let's say you realize the where isn't right, but you are not able to leave just yet. You've got responsibilities, people depending on you, life is still happening. So, what do you do when you're aware but still in place? What I've learned is that you have to start small. You start creating these things called micro wheres, tiny spaces where you can stretch. A 15-minute morning ritual before anyone else wakes up. A playlist that reminds you of who you are. A friend who doesn't make you explain your feelings in 10 different ways. An ally that pushes you to achieve your goals. Those small spaces become oxygen masks. Okay, they remind you that your authenticity still has somewhere to breathe. And when you keep feeding your who inside those micro wheres, your exterior world slowly begins to rearrange itself. That's how the change starts, not by running, okay, but by small realignments. Because when your who gets strong enough, it starts pulling in the better wares towards it. New people, new chances, new peace, new opportunities. Okay. You start realizing that your who is magnetic, always drawing in what matches its frequency. So you feed it truth, boundaries, joy, even in small doses. You don't have to change everything at once. You just start showing up as your true self where you can, and eventually life shifts to meet you. I've also learned that your who and your where are always in conversation. It's a dialogue that is happening there. They either amplify each other or wear each other down, right? That kind of drove me into another, here's another layer. Okay. Here we going deeper into the rabbit hole, because then that led me to researching Neville Goddard. If you don't know who Neville Goddard is, you got to look him up. Okay. And he states that when we need to live, no, what did he state? Let me get it right. He states that we need to live, think, and breathe right now from the perspective of who we want to be, not who we currently are. And this will cause the shift where, you will start to see the alignment happen. The where will align with the who that you are destined to be, not the current version of you. This will cause that, the two to align and complement each other. So again, you would be living, according to Neville, you would be living your now. Your who is not your who that you are today, but who you want yourself to be, right? Live in that moment right now. If it's a millionaire, live like a millionaire do right now in this moment. If it's a mogul, a business owner, live in that moment right now. And then that will start to shift the 3D, the reality around you. The where will start to shift according to the who, right? I hope I'm making sense, okay? And when they're in sync, the who and the where, when your who and your where they're mentally and physically are in sync, that's when you start to glow without effort, right? Things just start to shift and align for you. They have to be in sync though. And you become a magnet for everything that your heart desires. But when they're mismatched, everything feels a bit harder than it should. Okay. It's difficult to even get up in the morning sometimes. It's difficult to go to work and stay in that job, in that office, at that desk. It's difficult to just exist, honestly. So maybe the real work isn't choosing one. It's listening to the tension between them, between the two. both of them. What is your environment reflecting back to you about your own beliefs, and what your behavior is saying about the spaces that you keep choosing? Sometimes that feeling of something's off isn't anxiety, it's your soul tugging or triggering you toward a new alignment. Finding the where my who is best isn't about escape. It's about evolution. It's realizing that you can't force a who to thrive in a where that it wasn't built for, right? And you can't expect the new where to fix a who that is still afraid to grow. So this week, don't ask what's wrong with me. Ask, where am I? Okay, what am I doing here? And does my who belong here? And if the answer is no, well, that's okay. You don't have to run. You just start building those micro wheres until the right one reveals itself. Start living, like Neville Goddard says, start living according to the you or the who that you know that you're destined to be. Start living that now so that you can start attracting the more aligned where, right? Because maybe, just maybe, the most powerful change isn't becoming someone new. It's letting your who grow strong enough to find or build the where it was always meant to be. That's the episode, guys. That's episode 10. That's where I am right now. So season 3 in a month, that's what we're going to be diving into. We are going to get really raw about who and where we are, right? And really start embodying that energy, right? We are going to be stepping into a more spicier phase, okay? Because in your 40s, okay, it be some things going on, if you know what I mean. And we should be discussing them, okay? We're going to be talking about love, life, our sexual energies and desires and pleasures, right? It's going to be the works. We're crossing every T and dotting every single last I. And I am so excited, and I can't wait for you to be on the season 3 journey with me. Again, thank you so much for being here. Please use this break to catch up on any episodes that you may have missed, and visit my socials, okay? If you can send or donate anything to the Jamaica relief efforts, that would be amazing. If you need help or guidance doing that, please reach out to me. I can help you. I can guide it. Listen, we will make it work. If you are willing and able to give back, oh my gosh, that would be such a blessing and a help. Use this time, again, catch up on the episodes. So when we come back for season 3, you're ready to go. Okay. I love you and thank you so much. Season 2, we are done. That's a wrap.